Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Crossing Borders. As I mentioned last week, I am now your tour guide, Mike Ginn. Joining me, as always, I'm talking about Extremo Alex Soto on location, down for Lux 18. Alex, what's up, buddy?
Well, it's great out here. It's great to be out here, Mike. It's really good, man. The weather's here. I was frozen in San Diego, landed in Acapulco, and it's like beautiful 80 degrees. The sun's out. It's
Hold
gorgeous,
up,
man.
hold up. Frozen in San Diego? What was it, like
Yeah,
60?
it's like 60
60?
degrees out there. It's freezing.
Yeah, well, it's only like 75 here in Tampa, so it's not much better today. I think it's
Okay.
supposed to be 83 tomorrow, so we'll be okay. We'll be back to normal. But people didn't tune in to hear us talk about the weather. They tune in to hear us talk about the fights. Of course, this is brought to you on the Fighters First Network, fightersfirst.shop. If anybody's confused, real quick, by the way, just a quick announcement. As far as our Instagram, it got taken down by the security measures and stuff. Somebody tried to hack us. I proved it was me. Then Instagram was like, wait, well, we got to verify. And then it just totally went bye-bye. And nobody from Facebook or Instagram is talking back to me. So tried to launch another account. That got taken down real quick. So I launched another account that's not connected to anything. Of course, it's Luchadores Primero, which, as everybody knows, in Espanol, that means fighters first. So the description, the link will be in the description. Give us a follow there. We're starting a brand new account. Eventually, I hope to change the screen name back to Fighters First of some
Yeah.
form.
We're
But for
still
right now,
crossing borders, right?
yeah, we're still crossing borders.
Okay.
And the Instagram is now
Thank God.
Luchadores Primero, which ties in nicely for the Day of the Dead shirt, Dia de los Muertos. It's right on top of there, kind of play on words. The whole, we are crossing borders. So there you go. For Instagram, we are now crossing borders for a little while. So that's that. That's the news out of the way. Of course, visit fightersfirst.shop, get all the Extremo collection, get the Crossing Borders collection. But Alex, let's talk about some fights. You're actually there on business, even though it looks like you're on vacation. Hopefully you are wearing pants tomorrow, but we'll see. LUX Fight League 18, headlined by Alessandro Costa versus Kike Gonzalez for the Flyweight Championship. Break that fight down for us and tell us a little bit about each person.
Okay, well, first of all, these guys are packed with experience. Kike Locote Gonzalez is he's the challenger for the fights. And it's gonna be a good one. He's a worthy opponent. It's 12-3 is his record, and he's going against 10-2 for Alessandro Costa, who is the champion, the current flyweight champion. And when you see both of these guys, when we talk about flyweights, it's always power, quickness, skill, and these guys just pack it up every time, man. And I'm really excited to watch this fight because it just the flyweights in at LUX Fight League have always delivered with exciting matchups, man. And so when the flyweights get together, there's like these crazy overhand right hands that just connect. But in terms of Alessandro Costa and Kike Gonzalez, it's gonna be basically the jiu-jitsu prowess of Alessandro Costa. He's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, going against Kike Locote Gonzalez. I I don't know. He's from Monterrey. I don't know how well his jiu-jitsu game is, how well it's going to handle against the constant pressure in the Brazilian. So, man, it's just going to be jiu-jitsu guy versus striker, but both of them are really are strikers. So I think it's going to be a stand-up brawl.
Who's your prediction in this one?
I think Alessandro Costa stays the champ.
Yeah, of course, we profiled Alessandro last week, talked all about him, all of his experience, bringing that Brazilian jiu-jitsu to the Mexican Fight League. And obviously, Kike Gonzalez has an extensive striking background. So should be a fun matchup. Difference of styles, see who wins out in that one. But hey, that's why we call it mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
So it should be exciting and fun. Over in that co-main event, though, is another good matchup. Some couple young up-and-coming fighters. Both of them don't have much of a resume, but Alejandro Gavita versus Irving Cardona. What do you know about these two guys?
Oh, okay. So this goes into the matchmakers. I guess they haven't updated the fight card, but we're gonna have Polo Reyes fighting.
Okay.
So he's gonna be taking on the co-main event. He's gonna be taking on Pitbull Martinez.
Okay, so that fight that got moved up.
Yeah, it got. I don't know if it's even updated on the actual online where you guys are uploading. I'll talk to the guys about that. But the matchup right now is Polo Reyes, made weight. They're both on weights. They're both big dudes, really strong, really big for their weight classes.
Lightweights, right? 155.
Yeah, at 155 pounds. I say big because I fought at 135 pounds. So anybody bigger than that, I'm like, oh, dude, they're humongous. But Polo Reyes, you guys, we saw him fight against Locote, I think, or Loco, the guy from Mexico City, which was a sick fight on UFC Fight Pass. It was bloody, dude. It was gnarly. It was back and forth. But Polo Reyes just showed his dominance and how well skilled he is. And that's going to be something that he's going to put on against Pitbull Martinez. He's got a huge record, 22 wins, 13 losses, one draw. And when I see a fighter with that kind of record, I see a guy who's obviously skilled at his craft, but has
Been
had,
doing it a long time.
yeah, has been doing it a long time. So, I mean, you can't sleep on these guys, number one, and knows a lot of the tricks to the game, but also shows, a lot of I see beatable. You know what I mean? I say like, okay, it's easy to envision a win when you're a fighter and you're analyzing this guy. It's like, hey, I can envision. I've seen this guy lose. When you go up against a fighter who's undefeated, it's hard for you to kind of grasp your mind around that. I guess it's hard to explain, but the visual of it. I mean, when we talk about fighting, it's all about,
Like being intimidated a little bit,
yeah. I wouldn't say intimidation, but
or just up for the challenge.
it's not there, right? Like it doesn't exist. Like you fight somebody who's undefeated, you're like, how does it look when you defeat this guy, right?
Yeah.
And when you watch film on somebody and you see the guy getting his ass kicked, 4 times in a row, you can then visualize yourself doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, weakness when somebody has a loss, you know how to exploit their weakness. When they've never lost, you still need to figure out the puzzle.
Kind of like that. It's more of a mental game. It's more of a mental aspect to it. You can envision yourself winning, and when fighters lose, and depending on how that loss is made, if it's like a 3-round brawl or you see their limitations. You see how far they can go mentally. I mean, because if they can take a beating for 5 rounds, you can see where that limit is. You can match that tempo. You can match that kind of attack against him, and set that same tempo and pace that you've seen in the past. That's assuming that the guy's not incredibly improved and since his last fight, of course, because we're always trying to change the game, right?
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to figure people out. Everybody wants to be undefeated. Everybody wants to win every fight they ever step foot in. So definitely exciting matchup, especially between those two. Further down, is the Gavita card down towards the bottom of the card, or is that just like still on the main card part?
So this is what I got right now. I got Edgar Garcia versus Pablo
Carlos Rivera.
Sanchez, Pelotero. Yeah, Rivera. And then I got Uriel Uribe versus Luis Azteca Rodriguez. Ramon Bombardero, sorry, excuse me. Cardoso versus Luis Monkey Brito. So a lot of guys that are coming from a lot of different areas. We got Tijuana, Ciudad de Mexico, Monterrey.
So yeah, it's still the same card. It's just a little bit different order of how the fights are laid out for us.
Gotcha.
As far as what we're looking at. So what's the next fight on the resume after the Polo Reyes Fernando Martinez fight?
Well, we're tracking with the Edgar Garcia Ram. I think it's up next as on the third fight on the main card against Pablo's El Pelotero. We've seen those guys fight before. We've seen the striking of Edgar Garcia Ram. He's been doing that. He's been doing it for a while there for LUX. He's on the older side though. He's 37 years old. Which is my age, So I always say that I'm old.
I mean, both y'all are babies compared to me, but go ahead.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? It's like for fighting, goddamn, we're ancient, So
hey, don't knock it. Herschel Walker fought at like 50 years old. It can be done.
Hey, I'm not knocking it, dude. When I talk about Randy Couture, 42 years old or 41 years old, when he became
Glover Teixeira,
champion of the world, and just as recently as this
Glover
weekend,
Teixeira, 42 years old.
43 years old. Is he the oldest
42,
champion now?
42. He just turned 42.
So does he have the record for the oldest?
I think Randy technically has the record, but they're the same age, just a matter of days difference.
Okay, same age.
Because Glover turned 42 like 2 days before the fight.
Oh, gotcha.
And I'm not even sure if either one of them have the record. I have to look in further deeper because I know there's probably maybe in the UFC, but I'm sure there's been older champions across different promotions.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I mean, we're talking the UFC here, man.
I mean,
Right.
technically, Fedor's been champion in Russia for about like 45 years. So
How old is Favorite?
Fedor's
Vito?
45.
He's 45.
Yeah. Or
I,
44, 45. He's like my age.
I think the last time we saw Randy Couture, he was 46.
Yeah. He was champion, though, probably a few years before that, 43, 44 years old.
Okay, damn. So
So,
that's like, who's gonna push the limit to that? I mean, if John Jones gets his head out of his ass and stop. Wait, you're gonna edit that part right out, right?
no. We're going to leave that right in there. We're going to leave it. If my mistakes get left in there, your mistakes get left in there. But
No,
nah,
but
John Jones definitely needs to get his head out of his ass and keep in
yeah,
his
but if
gym.
he does,
I mean, he's
I
getting
say that
kicked
all
out of his own
confident.
gym. But
Yeah, I say that all cocky right now. But
well, we're getting a little distracted. Back to the 37-year-old fighter.
Yeah, you're right. We totally went off course. I apologize.
No, this is the way shows go. That's what makes them fun.
All right, so he's a striker. That's his background, and we've seen his striking guard. He's going to be taking a debuter, which is Pablo Sanchez Pelotero. We haven't heard much from him, but he's got a boxing background. So again, this is going to be striker versus striker fight. We don't like to put up shows that are super boring. And I don't
No, of course not. I mean,
I don't
every
think,
show I've ever watched for LUX Fight League, not every fight is going to be exciting, but most of them, yeah. The matchmakers do a great job of putting people in great positions to put on a show for the fans. So definitely always a fun event.
Yeah, I agree. And like the last one, I was like, there was a lot of
Play-by-play is an awesome too. The color guy needs to get replaced, but the play-by-play is awesome.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Francisco Rivera, amazing.
Hey, he's a great guy, huh?
This Alex Soto guy, I don't know about.
Who the hell is Alex? Who is Alex Soto? Yeah, he's
some former fighter, a little punch.
He's the host of Crossing Borders, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You're the host because I'm the tour guy. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So a co-host. Yeah, there you go, co-host. But man,
you can take the host. Go ahead.
No, it's all yours, man.
All right. So what's next? What's next on the agenda? We're getting a little off track today.
Yeah, I know, man. We're all over the place.
He's on vacation. I'm trying to keep him in check. It's all good.
No, and then we got to. So I was gonna say the last time we did the show, we had a lot of like 1s and 0s, 2 and 0s, and 3 and 0s.
A lot of debuters. Fighters.
But all those fights were sick. They were badass. They were like competitive. They were high level. They weren't like little junior guys, like not pulling guard or trying to go for a guillotine choke right off the cage. These guys knew exactly what they're doing, high level stuff, and they're from high level gyms that are showing up. And so I was really impressed with that. So Uriel Uribe is up next on the main card. He's 3-2. Yeah, he's from Monterrey. We've seen him fight for us a few times. He's had a couple of wins and losses. But it's always exciting to fight. And he'll be taking on the 21-year-old Luis Año Rodriguez. Oh, Nino Rodriguez, the kid from Chihuahua. Yep, exactly. He's 21 years old, and his style is mixed martial arts. So I'm expecting another banger fight there with a bunch of young kids that are showing up and getting the call up. So it's gonna be a fun night of fights.
Yeah, that fight wasn't listed on our thing, so that's a good thing we got you on. Much like the last fight card where like half the main card was like replaced.
Yes.
Especially in this time and day and age, like everything's subject to change. That's why we kind of hesitate on talking about these fight cards too far in advance, because you hope, especially like the main event takes place, but after that, it's kind of a crapshoot, and you're trying to get like the best fights possible. Sometimes even the week of. Though I don't know who would turn down a trip to Acapulco to fight. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now that it's going to be a good one on the main and co-main event. It's official. They've made weight. That's been checked off by the commission out down here, and so we're going to have a main and a co-main event that was planned. That shit's happening. So that's really good to see, man.
So other than the main and co-main event, what fight are you looking forward to most on this card?
Other than those two events, we have the Lara Zamora and Janet Vidal fighting for the lightweight. You'll see that on Fox.
The ladies.
Yeah, those are the ladies at 125 pounds, I believe is what it is.
115, I think.
115 pounds. Thanks, man. And Guadalajara versus Tijuana, of course, you know, I gotta go for my Tijuana lady, because that's what's up, dude. And
Yeah, but the better tequila is down in Guadalajara.
hey, that might be true, but I'm from Tijuana, dude. So I gotta
Swoop
represent.
down to Jalisco. Give me some tequila, bro.
Yeah, no, and the girls, man. If you guys are into the tournament, the girls tournaments are freaking ramping it up, man. It's so much fun. Those girls put on a show every time.
Oh yeah, there's no hold back. 100% go. High level skill. These ladies have been tearing the house down this whole tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really fun to watch, and I'm glad that you're enjoying that too. So, man, yeah.
I mean, I blame you, but I've been watching like all these like Fight Pass cards now because we started doing this show.
Yeah,
And it's not that I ignore some of the Fight Pass cards, but as you know, especially through the pandemic, there's been an MMA card, 2 or 3, like every single weekend. Like it was slow in the beginning after the pandemic first hit, but
Yeah.
once they kind of figured out how they were going to do it between UFC, Bellator, PFL making the return, obviously Fight Pass with like LUX Fight League and CFFC here in America, some of the regional action, CES, Cage Warriors, all this international stuff, Ryzen. Like there's been so much action on a weekly basis
Yeah.
that even if you're 100% dedicated and do nothing else but watch MMA, there's no way to keep up with everything.
Yeah, that's great, man. Isn't that nuts?
It's great, but it's also very hard when you're running a network and doing multiple shows.
Yeah.
But that said, because we started doing this show, it actually opened my eyes, and I'm hoping it's opening the eyes of people at home to a whole new audience, a whole new crowd. Like I said, we've been doing a great job of profiling the fights coming up, doing a recap the week after.
Yeah.
But we've also done a great job of profiling some of these fighters nobody's ever heard of before. And
Yeah.
some of these are the next people to be in the UFC, in Bellator, in PFL, and some of these American leagues that are making the major television rights and so on and so forth. Or even, you know, going to a Combate Global or something like that to, you know, cash in and make a little bit more money here and there, which is always the idea, right? Because you prize fighters at heart. Like you fight for money. So at the end of the day, you might have a passion, but you're doing it to get paid. So this is a great opportunity for anybody at home that hasn't had a chance to really watch. Go back and watch some of the last couple like Fight Pass events for LUX Fight League. Last one, you lost the main event, you lost the co-main event, you lost another fight on the card. But then I was talking last week about Pena versus Manzano, like tearing the house down.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite fights. And then, of course, you had the bigger guys. You had Bam Bam Valenzuela versus Brandon Kessler throwing down. On this fight card, you have another, the fight's still there, I believe, Chavez and Medina, another middleweight battle. It's going to be another war. What do you know about these two guys? Because they both have a lot of experience.
Man, it's just like I said, they're just so much fun to watch because I think the Latin American.
I'm so excited.
Culture,
knock my camera over.
Oh yeah. Well, I was gonna say the Latin American culture here is just always exciting to put on shows. They just have a different approach to fighting, and it's just to entertain, and they would just want to brawl because that's what we grew up watching. You know, we grew up watching guys
Gladiator, bullfighting,
Chavez, you know, Oscar de la Hoya. Who else? I mean, like you can go down the list of these amazing Mexican boxers. You know, now we have Canelo Alvarez, who they're putting up these awesome displays of shows and fights and very competitive stuff. And that's what we wanted to see. That's what the Mexican culture and Latin American culture wants to see. And so these fighters know that, and they're delivering those things, man. And it's just, that's the difference, man. I think that's why they're like LUX has been able to deliver these kind of fights, man. But speaking of, I was just talking about like the change ups on main events. You know, we're talking about Shorty Torres just pulled out of his flyweight tournament. And guess who steps up? Guess who steps up now?
Who's taking his place?
Who's the guy he tied with last time?
Shorty Rock.
Yeah.
So Shorty Rock,
he's now gonna be fighting for the title.
Is that still the fight he has in Russia this weekend?
Yep, that's the one. But
he's upgraded it to like a tournament fight.
Yep. So now he's fighting for the tournament.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I didn't hear about that news this morning.
Breaking news.
Funny enough, I just heard about Shorty Torres talking about how excited he was for his fights coming up. So
yeah,
I mean, anything can happen in the sport, so it's crazy.
Yeah.
We're still waiting. Shorty, come on, you guys, you gotta break that tie.
Like well, I'll tell you what, Shorty did
Talk about
say
styles, like jiu-jitsu versus striking, like right there.
that was a good fight, man. And Shorty Torres, who's my homie, he's retiring from fighting at flyweight. He says he's not gonna do that anymore.
Is he moving up?
He's moving to 35, and he's gonna stay at 35.
Well, I say, I hope he's not retiring from fighting. He's only 29 years old.
Oh no, I mean he's still getting he's just getting started still, man.
I was actually just looking into him the other day about some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's crazy. Health problems have been an issue. He's been injured quite a bit sometimes.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you see Shorty Rock, like he's coming back from a surgery as well. So hopefully both those guys in 2022 match up, because that's the matchup people have been wanting to cry and scream and get back in the cage. Yeah. Not to get distracted from Mexican MMA. Obviously, we're going a little international with Brave.
Hey, but that's my boy, though. That's my boy, and he's a Paisa too. So
I mean, he's an Hispanic fighter. It counts.
Yeah, he's from Chicago, man.
But yeah, Jose Torres tears the house down whenever he fights. Shorty Rock tears the house down whenever they fight. Always bring in the entertainment and the excitement. So if they get back in that cage, I have no doubt it's going to be another battle of the wills.
Yeah.
And Torres is going to try to strike with him. Shorty's going to try to pull guard. Something's got to give. It didn't give the first time. It's got to give the second time.
Grab some popcorn, man, because that's a good fight.
Yeah. Before we let you get out of here real quick, I have one last question about this fight card. Leandro Arquiza versus Herrera, two undefeated fighters fighting at 155 pounds. Is that one still on the card? And
wait, which fight are you talking about?
Arquiza versus Herrera, 3-0 versus 2-0. Should be the very first fight.
Oh, the fight of the night? I got Chavez versus Grano, Gavidia versus Corona.
Should be the very it was on the schedule as the first fight, so we'll see.
Yeah. Luis Pinango versus Alfonso. Oh, here we go.
Leandro Arquiza.
I have Leandro Arquiza versus Herrera.
Yeah. Two undefeated fighters. What do you know about these guys? Anything? They're both up and coming.
Well, I know the Argentinian guy who's been training in Tijuana.
Okay.
And we have Marcelo Rojo who's been training, who's fighting in the UFC. He's a bantamweight fighter, Marcelo Rojo, and he's like a badass dude. So all these Argentinian guys have just migrated to Tijuana, and they who's the one that's fighting Frankie Edgar this weekend?
Chito Vera.
Chito Vera's, he was out there as well. He's training with these guys. So I mean,
Marlon Chito Vera.
Yeah, where's Chito Vera from? Oh, he's from Valenzuela.
Yeah.
Yep. So those guys are like crazy.
He's been in America for a while, though.
Yeah. But
he's been training like I think Chito's been training. I think for a while he was at Extreme Couture for a little bit.
Yeah.
He's been bouncing around different camps, but he's been training around in America for a while now.
Yeah.
He's also just the one famously that stopped Sean O'Malley's win streak with the leg kick.
Yeah.
Though ironically, I did pick Frankie Edgar this weekend.
I did too. I think Frankie Edgar is going to win this fight.
I think it's just a good matchup for him.
I think
his wrestling can win this. If he stands and tries to strike with Vera, it's going to be a bad night for Frankie. But if he tries to mix in his wrestling and do what he does, I think it's a good matchup for him.
I think Frankie mixes it up so well. I think Frankie has so much good technical striking. I think he's going to beat him on every aspect of this fight.
My only concern is you never know when a fighter rebounds from a crazy knockout like what happened with Sandhagen. Sometimes when people get knocked out like he did with the flying knee with Sandhagen, not every fighter bounces back. Frankie's super tough. I've known Frankie for a long time. I know and I know you have as well. You've trained with him and done other things. You know, Frankie has the mentality to go through that.
Yeah.
But he's never had that happen in his career.
No, it has not.
You hope that he bounces back like it's nothing ever happened, like it was just a fluke, but you never know. So sometimes when you go to engage, as you know, as a fighter, if that's in the back of your head that you can get caught, you hesitate and then you do get hurt. So,
That's true. But what sets Frankie apart from those other fighters is that Frankie has been a champion. He's been a world champion, and that is
mentally tough.
That is just a different person, man. What I've learned is that those guys that get that belt around their waist are they're just the best of the best, and that is all because of the mentality that these guys have. They're just wired differently, man. And I think Frankie Edgar, I think he's gonna have a highlight reel type performance against
in his backyard in New York City. He's not gonna let the fans down. He's coming to bring it. So it's going to be a great matchup. That
Let's
whole
put some
card
money
this
on it.
weekend.
Let's put some money on it.
What? I'm picking the same guy you are. Who are we gonna pick? Wait, which round it ends? Is that what we're gonna bet?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Maybe next time. I think we're both on the same card. If you guys want a whole preview of UFC 268, check out Art of MMA from yesterday.
Okay.
We broke down the whole card. We're gonna have to get Alex back on that episode at some point. Get on some of these pay-per-views, but his schedule's crazy as well. Real quick before I let you get out of here, tell people at home where they can watch LUX Fight League 18 tomorrow night.
All right, check it out on UFC Fight Pass. All right, we're going to be going live out there. I forget the schedule is on that. So you're going to have to help me out with that one, Mike. And then we're also going to be on Fox Deportes with Lux Challenge.
They got to listen to this 10 p.m. Eastern time, so hopefully.
Perfect. Yeah, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. You're going to be seeing me calling the fights along with Francisco X Rivera, and it is absolutely a fun time. Shout outs, give me some shout outs, man, and I'll talk to me, let me know what you guys are thinking, and then I'll make sure to tell the fans that are listening and watching and interact with you guys. So it's always fun because we get a lot of crazy comments when we're on live. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and hit Alex up, obviously in the description, all the show notes and links for Alex, his Instagram, his Twitter, he checks all of it. Hit him up. I think he's a little bit more active on Instagram these days, right?
Yeah, I guess that's what all the young kids are doing now.
That's what all the kids are on. And follow us at Luchadores Primera, just to put that out there one more time in case y'all got lost. FightersFirst.shop. Check out the latest Crossing Borders merchandise. Check out the Extremo collection. Alex is killing it. He's got some really dope gear. Check that all out. We appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you check out LUX Fight League 18 tomorrow night with Alex and Francisco. Thank God Francisco's on there to save the episode.
Thank God.
But we do appreciate everything. Appreciate your time, Alex. Enjoy this weekend. Have fun calling the fights, and we'll see you next week to break it all down.
All right. Thank you.
All right. We're out.